Hello, guys, gals, non-binary pals, entities of unending darkness and other. Welcome to the Sci-Fi Lab. I'm your host, DJ Squared, and with me is my co-host,
Harper.
And this week, which is, unfortunately, our last show of the semester, I know, tragic. I blame finals. You can blame finals as well. Blame the Institute. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the evolution of aliens. So, do you want to start us out with some history?
UFO sightings. That's what I want to start with, because who doesn't love UFO sightings? So in reading about it, I found out that people have been seeing, of course they weren't called UFOs at the time, but unidentified flying objects since the 2nd millennium BC.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. Like that.
Remember, alien sightings predate Jesus.
I mean, there was like an entire description of it, and I kind of want to read that description of the one from 1440 BC.
Where was it?
It was in Lower Egypt.
Yeah, makes sense.
It said, oh man, I'm going to probably butcher the pharaoh's name, but I'll try it. According to the disputed Tully Papyrus, the scribes of the pharaoh Thutmose III reported that fiery discs were encountered floating over the skies.
I mean, like,
what else could it have been in 1440 BC other than aliens?
Fiery discs. Yeah, I mean,
I believe.
I want to believe.
I want to believe. And then there's a whole list of them from classical antiquity, Greece, Rome. I mean, it just blew me away. I always thought of it as being just like Roswell, New Mexico.
Like modern crackpots.
Yeah.
In their basements with their tin hats.
They're not crackpots, okay? I just told you I believe.
Hey, I believe too. I'm just saying. I totally do not have a tin hat. Totally don't. Promise. I mean, like, anyway.
He dying. Oh, finals have killed DJ.
Don't worry about it. And we're back.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've been a changeling this entire time, but, you know, go off, I guess.
So then I tried to read specifically about New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, and it was like the least interesting to me out of all of them. But I think it's because they have to edit these Wikipedia pages down so much to get all this sort of conspiracy stuff out of it and make it seem reputable.
It's like, no, the conspiracy's the best part.
That's what I want.
You gotta out-conspiracy the conspiracy theorists.
And I was on a bunch of conspiracy websites last night, and then, oh man, one of them, I didn't realize at first it was on creation.com, and it didn't occur to me that it was a creationism website.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, this is really against aliens. Why did they hate on aliens so much? And then it clicked for me and I was like, oh, that's why. I was like, I didn't even think of that being a conflict of interest. But so the term flying saucer was coined from a UFO sighting by a civilian pilot named Kenneth Arnold on June 24th, 1947. So he saw 9 objects floating in a V formation, and he described the motion as being like a saucer being skipped across a pond. And so that's how the term flying saucer came into use.
And, like, he's a pilot, so at the very least he would know what flying things look like.
I know.
So, probably not planes. Unless they're really weird round planes.
One I read from, I want to say 17th century, I don't remember. It was a sighting by an actual astronomer, and it turned out that it was high-flying geese. I was like, that I believe.
Fair enough.
I believe in geese as well.
But, like, geese don't look anything like a saucer.
But if they're so high-flying, maybe you can't tell the shape? I don't know.
I don't know. Geese, I mean, like, I feel like birds have pretty distinctive shape.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if those geese must be flying real high.
Well, the thing is, he was observing solar flares on the sun, so maybe it was the, I don't know if they had H-alpha filters on telescopes back then to see the actual flare, But I feel like you can't see much else. Everything's black specks when you have a filter and a telescope. So
Fair enough.
who knows? I don't know enough about the history of astronomy. But so that was the first use of flying saucer, and then the first use of little green men in science fiction, because there were older things that referred to little green men, but it had nothing to do with aliens.
It's generally fairies.
Okay,
like,
I didn't know that. I didn't look it up, and I was like, I wonder what it is.
Like if you're thinking like anything older than aliens that are, you know, like small and green and people shaped, it's probably something like a fae, like a pixie or a brownie. Or
so maybe like
a leprechaun.
Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Yeah, like that type of thing.
Okay.
There's plenty of demons in Japanese folklore are like plant-based, sort of. So that could have contributed too. Like I'm pretty sure there's like this one demon that's like a potato. Like legitimately, it's a potato with limbs and a face. Like the face is on the side of the potato, and it's got like arms and legs coming out of it. And it's yeah, funny. And before we get any further into this, I just want to make a note that demons in like Japanese mythology are much different than what we think of as demons in like Western mythology.
Okay.
Demons are like, it's the catch-all term for magical creatures, basically.
Okay.
So, like, you could call their sort of gods demons. I mean, like, that wouldn't be technically right, but it'd be, like, more right. Like, they're just beings in the world.
Okay.
They're not, like... I mean, not all of them are trying to, like, kill you and steal your soul. Like, some of them are. Some of them absolutely are, because you've got those in every pantheon. But, like, Japanese demons, they run the full gamut of, you know, like, lawful good to chaotic evil. So, just wanted to be clear on that.
How do you know so much about this?
Because I'm a weeb.
Okay.
Because I have an insatiable interest in any and all folklore.
And
I'm also a weeb.
Sometimes I'm like, man, how does DJ know so much more than me about these things? And then it always goes back to things like anime.
Yes. No, I mean, anime was the jumping off point for my love of Japanese folklore.
Okay.
But no, I've always been sort of like folklore and fairy tales are my entire jam. So I adore them. If you have any like fairy tale retellings or folktale retellings of literally anything, like science fiction folktale retellings and, you know, just whatever, hit me up. Those are my jam. I love them. Anyway, back to aliens. Little green men.
Oh, yeah, so that first use was in a short story published in Weird Tales in 1946 by Harold Lawler? We're gonna go with that pronunciation.
I don't know, bro.
So that was in the 40s. So at that point, there was already an established image of what an alien was, at least in the public perception. I think gray. A lot of people think green, but like little tiny creatures.
Tiny creatures, small limbs, big heads.
Yeah, big bulging eyes.
Really big eyes, like the big bug eyes. You know, like the sort of faceted black. Which honestly, faceted black eyes are actually really cool looking. I'm gonna be honest.
There was one I was reading about that was a cyclops in the sense that it had one big bulging eye, and I'm trying to remember which one that was. Because I thought that was pretty neat. I don't think I've ever seen one that was...
Yeah, usually if they don't have two eyes, they either have no eyes or, like, way too many eyes.
Man.
Like, so many eyes.
Oh, here it is. War of the Worlds.
Yeah, okay.
Which I've seen the most recent one, but I don't remember a whole lot about it. It didn't really affect me.
Yeah.
I even own a copy. I liked it so much at the time that I bought a copy and I haven't even opened it. And I've had it since the movie came out in, 2005, whenever that came out. I don't remember.
Yikes.
I've had it 13 years and I haven't even broken the seal on the DVD case. But at the time, I thought it was great, much like Avatar.
Yeah. Name 3 characters from Avatar. You can't do it. You can't do it.
That one episode I could have, but that's because I just spent a night reading about Avatar. Now I can't. I've already forgotten again.
It made so much money. Anyway, but so wait, after like the little green aliens, like I don't really remember specifically where the aliens went, like, where did we go after that? Because
okay.
I mean, like, the green/gray aliens are basically ubiquitous, so much that they're like spoofed and made fun of in various TV shows.
There was one I was reading about that had tentacles.
Oh, yeah.
But
Forgot
now
about the tentacles.
Can't remember which one that was in.
Cthulhu. So then we're going back to the sort of Lovecraftian vision of creatures not from Earth.
Maybe, okay, I've never seen this, so I'm probably wrong. 2001 and Space Odyssey. Are there aliens that you encounter in that movie?
I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure that one's more... I mean, there might be, but...
Because it kept coming up in all my research, but it would never explicitly say anything about aliens, so I didn't know why it kept coming up in my research. And I've never seen it personally, so...
I mean, most of what I know, like, I don't remember it very well. Because the thing is that the thing about 2001: A Space Odyssey is most people, like, it gets, any sort of alien in the story gets overshadowed by the issues with HAL, which is, you know, the AI system. So that's the only thing anyone, like, really remembers, or that's the only thing I remember. So, and yeah, I don't remember if there are actually aliens, but I don't think so. I don't know.
I basically have too many examples of little green men and gray men and their varying numbers of fingers.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with the phalanges.
Yeah. 3 fingers, 4 fingers, but never 5. That's too human. We can't do 5 fingers.
And it never seems to go above 5 either.
I feel like I have seen a 6-fingered one on Stargate. Actually, no. I think it's 3. It's the Asgard on Stargate SG-1. Let's see if I can find an image. Oh, let's see. 3. They look like a very stereotypical gray/green little man.
Yeah, because that's also part of, like special effects issues too, because, like, it's much easier to just like tape your actors' fingers together than it is.
Oh, was it taped in Star Trek?
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
Probably.
Because not everyone can do it.
No, I mean, like, for a 3-finger person, you tape their fingers together so that
Gotcha.
they,
I thought you meant the Live Long and Prosper was taped together.
That might also be taped together. I do know not everyone can do that. But you see, the thing is that it's so much easier to tape, like, 2 of your actors' fingers together to form a 3-fingered person than it is to, like, add on, like, another finger. Like, you could just add on, like, a clay mold of a finger or something, but if you actually want it to move, then that's an entirely different level of complexity. So, you just might as well not. Because then it just looks wrong. It just looks wrong. It's like how they could get away with it in, like, The Princess Bride, 6-fingered man. 6-fingered.
I've only ever seen the very end of that movie.
Oh,
I was
my
flipping
gosh.
channels and came across it, and I was like, oh, I think this is The Princess Bride, and watched literally the last 5 minutes, and that's all I've seen.
Bruh.
I know.
We're adding that to the list of movies that we need to get you to watch.
I used to know a guy who sort of gatekeeped who he would date based on whether or not they'd seen The Princess Bride. But
Nice.
it was an age test more than anything. If they were old enough to have watched it, but the thing is, you can watch movies anytime, so I thought that was a dumb test. But that was his way of figuring out if they were as old enough to have grown up with the movie, I should say.
Yeah. Because the thing is that I can totally understand not dating somebody who hasn't watched The Princess Bride, just, like, as a quality thing, but, like, as an age thing, that's kind of dumb. But no, like, in The Princess Bride, there was a character who was called, like, who is the six-fingered man. Like, but we only see him like near the very end, like near the end of the movie. The way they got around like him having six fingers on his right hand is like, one, he's always wearing gloves. Two, he wasn't in very much of the movie. Three, in the way it was like framed and shot, it was.
Was that literally his name, the Six Finger Man?
No, I believe he actually had a name, but I don't remember it.
So it wasn't like the Wesley character or
No.
someone.
No, he's specifically like. The reason that he is in this movie is because Inigo Montoya needs to kill him to avenge his father's death.
Okay.
He is
Spoiler alert.
The movie's been out for how long?
And I've seen the last 5 minutes of it, so.
You're officially not allowed to have spoilers.
I know, I like saying that.
It's, I actually have a version of Apples to Apples that is, the Princess Bride version.
I know someone who needs that.
It's, yeah, you can, like, Google it. There's a bunch of different Princess Bride board games.
Nice.
Here's a divergence for you. You want some Princess Bride merch? It exists.
I hate to kill you. That's one.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's a famous line.
Yeah. You seem a decent man. I hate to kill you. You seem a decent man. I hate to die. Excellent exchange. Every exchange Inigo Montoya has is gold. Absolutely gold. But anyway, aliens. Right. We were talking about multiple fingers. That's what we were talking about. So like the way aliens are depicted, what is a lot of it sort of especially like in books you can go crazy. You can have like here this alien species is entirely floating spheres. Why? Because. Or this alien is 75,000 feet tall and has tentacles and can speak using its psionic powers. Totally cool. But in like movies and TV shows, they have, you know, a budget.
I think it's easier to do now in movies than it used to be.
Oh, definitely.
With special effects. But also easier to do in movie than TV shows because, well, actually,
because of the budget.
A lot of TV shows have a huge budget, though.
But like the thing is that science fiction TV shows still have like a lower budget.
That's true. Because I was thinking like Friends, which obviously is not science fiction. They used to pay each actor $1 million per episode at the end of the series, so they must have an insanely large budget to be able to pay them that much.
Yeah, but that one, that's the thing. Sitcoms get like bigger budgets for paying actors. Partially because they don't need to put it into the special effects department.
That's true. They have the same set for everything.
Same set, same base set of costumes.
Yeah.
Not really, like not a lot of. Yeah, there's not a lot of need for like the special effects department to do things.
True.
And like you can run it longer. I mean, like, you know, sitcoms they're situational comedies, you know, slice of life type things. They aren't really dependent on an overarching plot. So.
Almost never are.
So it's easier to keep the gravy train running. But sometimes you get good aliens or good extraterrestrial stuff. Like last week we were talking about you know, like children's TV shows. I would say that the ghosts from Danny Phantom, I mean, they live in an alternate plane of existence.
I'm blanking. What is that?
Danny Phantom, main character, can turn into a ghost at will.
I don't. What is that? Cartoon Network?
That's Nickelodeon. Yeah.
When did this come out? 2004. I don't know that I've ever seen this show.
Also a very good show. I think it's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. At the very least, it was on Netflix at one point.
It's like one of those things where it's like, I know I knew about it at some point, but I'd completely forgotten it. So you've just blown my mind with a reference that I hadn't heard in forever. But I honestly don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, but okay, like that show has our main character who can turn into an alien because of, or not, I mean, like, hold on, backtrack. We're gonna get to that. He can turn into a ghost because of a experiment that went wrong. And the ghosts in this TV show live in like an alternate dimension they call the ghost zone, but they can get out into our world, sort of like an alien invasion. So like the thing is like, yes, these ghosts are dead people, but they are also actual beings with their own set of rules and their own like their own plane of existence. Because like the thing is that at one point they actually go into the ghost zone, and in the ghost zone the rules are flipped. All of the ghosts can like touch everything and can't like go through walls, but humans can. And you know, like human made objects can like go through walls and everything. So I would say that those count as aliens. Just,
I know, I've seen this show. It's, man, have you ever had that where you just completely had your memory wiped about something?
yeah, like, you know, you've seen it and you might have even liked it, but you're just like, I don't remember a thing about this.
I didn't even remember it existed until you brought it up. That's just what's blowing my mind. I think I watched this show and I still am like, wow, how did I forget this existed? Like, oh man. Invader Zim. I just remember that existed the other day because I saw something on Reddit, and now I want to go watch the whole series again.
Yeah. I mean, that's me with some TV shows, like Danny Phantom, because I liked it, and I was just like, I should go watch that again. And then me sits down, binges the entire thing.
Invader Zim's a little green alien.
Yeah, he is.
But a cute one.
He's very small. Yeah, Invader Zim is definitely playing off of those
tropes and
playing
stuff.
off of those tropes. I mean, it's called Invader Zim. Freaking alien invasion in the title. And that's also I'm pretty sure Zim only has like 3 or 4 fingers too, but that's more of an animation convention than an alien thing.
I don't think he has fingers.
Does he? Well, I mean, like, no, the dog doesn't have fingers. Or
Okay,
that's
maybe.
that's Gurr, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah. See, he's got like 3 fingers.
Yeah.
But that's more of I'm pretty sure that's more of an animation stylistic thing than. I don't know why. It looks better.
Or they're just blob hands with no definition.
Blob hands. The Powerpuff Girls.
Did they have blob hands?
Yes. Powerpuff Girls have no fingers.
Nice.
But like some people in their world do have fingers, so it's like, all right,
That's weird.
who has fingers and who does not have fingers?
It's the key to their power, not having fingers.
Not having fingers. They also have like the round feet too.
Okay.
So they're like little sock puppets.
So you mean there's something I could draw with no skill or talent?
Exactly. No, but like the thing is though, is that everybody else in the Powerpuff Girls universe has fingers and normal feet, and like at least semi-normal animated feet. Like Princess and all of the other kindergartners, they have fingers. They have normal hands. It's just them. It's just those 3.
The Lego Powerpuff Girls have hands.
Well, yeah, but that's, you know.
Classic Lego hands.
Everyone has Lego hands. All Legos have Lego hands.
So do you may not know the answer to this, but the first humanoid alien that wasn't a small little green man, I'm thinking that it must have been, movie or TV wise, Star Trek or Doctor Who.
I feel like Doctor Who I feel like it's Doctor Who.
I know, well, Doctor Who definitely came out before Star Trek, but I didn't know if there was something before those two that really had, like, human-like aliens.
I think in movies and TV, I don't think so.
But maybe in novels and short stories.
I mean, no, absolutely in novels,
Okay.
because, you know, you've got all of those, you've got, like, stories about, like, you know, breeding with aliens and, you know, finding aliens attractive, and just, yeah. There's definitely something, like, that predates that. in
classic SF.
like actual literature. If there isn't, I'm not sure if I would be surprised or not. You know?
Yeah.
Because at the start you'd think, yes, it's obviously they've got to be humanoid, but like the way they were thinking about aliens back then, you know, it's like you've got on the one hand, like, what was it, Thundering Worlds, where the aliens were like blobs of black goo. So I'm not sure actually if like when humanoid aliens became almost like normal.
Yeah. I couldn't really find a good answer.
Because it's sort of got to happen in, you know, TV and movies, because especially in the early days when you've only got so many actors, you know, you've only got so much budget and so many actors and
so many ways to transform people into aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I found interesting, this is still back with Little Green Men, was during Cold War and after Cold War, the way aliens were represented were different. So I found some during Cold War. There was one in the 50s called The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951, where this alien comes and wants to assemble all the world leaders, and their message is that the United States can't use nuclear power. Like, the aliens off in space found out that the world had created nuclear bombs and came to police us. So we can either give up our nuclear bombs or we can be policed by these aliens for the rest of, you know, our time. And so it was like this very anti-nuclear war message. But then afterwards, not even too far afterwards, 1953 was when War of the Worlds, the movie, came out, but the novel was, 20 years before?
Something like that.
So then I've had this backwards, I guess, because in War of the Worlds, the aliens are killed by, or no, they're not killed by, but the military drops a nuclear bomb on them. But I feel like that can't be in the book, because the book was written in 1938. We didn't have nuclear bombs in 1938, did we?
No.
I don't think we had them for a couple more years. Now I'm just confusing myself.
I feel like I have a friend who read War of the Worlds. They either read War of the Worlds or World War Z. Which one was the one where aliens were all completely destroyed because of bacteria?
War of the Worlds.
Yeah. So.
Well, I feel like the movie and the book must differ.
I mean,
there's
obviously.
an A-bomb.
So that's you know. Yeah, the movie and the book definitely have to differ if there's a bomb going, if we're bombing aliens. Yeah, that's definitely sort of a seems like a post-war thing, especially if it's written by like an American or a Westerner.
H.G. Wells, is he American?
Probably. Either like
Google knows.
Google knows all.
English.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's Western,
yeah.
You know. It's like, yeah, the feelings of, like, the Japanese, for instance, about nuclear bombs is very different.
And brought us Godzilla.
Yeah, and other various large monsters.
To fight Godzilla.
And Battle Royale!
And things like mecha anime, instead of lizards or other things to fight Godzilla. I can't even remember what else fight Godzilla.
I feel like it was like Mothra.
I don't know what that is. Is that a huge moth?
Gigantic moth.
Because I'm randomly very afraid of moths, even though they're completely harmless.
I mean, yeah. Mothra's a giant moth.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Very, very big.
That's my worst nightmare. Oh, man. Oh, I hate moths.
I really don't know. I mean, like, I know there's a bunch of things. Look, there is a list of things that have fought Godzilla.
A long list?
Let's see. It's a list of 32 things. There's a giant condor, a giant octopus, Manda, which looks like a giant alligator. Looks like a giant alligator. Gabara, which looks like Godzilla, except for it's got a cat face.
Nice.
Ibira, which is like a giant, I want to say that's a crawfish? Looks like a giant crawfish. Kamakura, which is like, I think that's a praying mantis type thing. Big eyes, got like the like mantis hands.
Okay.
There's Zilla. Instead of Godzilla, it's just Zilla. Zilla fought Godzilla.
Yeah, so I think there is a Mecha Godzilla.
Would not surprise me in the slightest.
That fights Godzilla.
Would not surprise me in the slightest. Space Godzilla.
We have been learning about mecha anime.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised you weren't there to watch it.
I mean, like, I actually have class right before you have class, so unless I wanted to skip my class.
I actually have classes. I actually attend this university. I don't just watch anime all day.
I wish. Like Hulu, Funimation, Netflix, whoever, hit me up if you just want somebody to sit there and, like...
Test pilots?
Yeah.
Anime pilots?
Just, like, grade your anime. I will. That will be my job. Listen. Dream job right there. Oh, forgot about Rodan. Rodan, which is basically a, also fought Godzilla, and basically a pterodactyl. just
Terrifying.
big old pterodactyl fought Godzilla. Like everything's taking a shot at Godzilla, let's be honest. Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, Mecha Godzilla's on the list. Okay. And, like, Godzilla, well, not an alien, still cool. Still sort of, helps us transition into a, different type of alien, which was, like, the lizard folk. Which, like, lizard folk have been, like, a fantasy staple for a while. You'll see, like, dragonborn and, like, half-dragon lizard folk sort of characters pop up in, like, fantasy books, in Dungeons and Dragons, in just sort of everything. And then there's the lizards that pop up in science fiction, like, I think there's just, like, this one lizard suit that they just keep using in Star Trek because Kirk keeps fighting, like, this one lizard guy. I mean, it's obviously a bunch of different lizard guys, but there's, like, one suit.
Right.
It's like, have you ever seen, those horse masks that were really popular on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that type of thing, but it's a lizard.
This is the most laughable lizard alien I've ever seen.
Isn't it great?
It's absurd, is what it is.
It's so great. Yeah, no, anyone out there, like, Google Star Trek lizard alien, it's amazing. Like, that is...
phenomenal.
It's, they're trying. The costume department only has so much money, and they have to spend a lot of it on Kirk's shirts.
Oh, I mean, they did a good job with what they had in the time period. Now they're laughable. At the time, they may have been.
No, at the time they were probably still laughable, but it was part and parcel of the science fiction experience, being sort of cheesy and dorky.
Skiffy.
Very skiffy.
Yeah, Star Trek ranges all of them. It's like science fiction, it's sci-fi and skiffy. It just depends on which show, which episode, which movie.
Who was writing it?
Yeah.
Who was starring in it? Don't worry about it.
That's part of why it's great. It covers it all.
It's fun times. You know, and then like speculative fiction, like there's a few time travel episodes. There's some what ifs. So, you know, whatever.
If this goes on, if Kirk keeps fighting lizards.
just keep fighting those lizards.
Oh.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure, like, he's a country boy. He knows how to fight lizards.
Is he a country boy?
Yeah, he's from Kansas.
Also, I'm a country girl. I don't know how to fight lizards. What are you talking about?
But he's a country boy.
I mean, I'm from rural South Carolina and grew up in Georgia. Like, I'm southern.
He's from the Midwest.
That's less country.
I mean, like the actual Midwest, like Kansas. He is from Kansas.
Have you ever fought a lizard? That's all I'm getting at. I don't know what you're talking about with fighting lizards being a normal thing people do. Especially not these lizards.
When you're living in Kansas, you have to do something for fun.
True.
I think he's from Kansas. If he's not from Kansas, then
some other state like Oklahoma.
Freaking Idaho. No, Iowa. No, I think he is from Iowa. Ugh, I can't remember now.
I don't even know how to find. You're the one who comes up with the way to Google things.
He's either like from
Riverside,
Iowa. So yeah, he's in that area. He is from Iowa. Like, I knew it was one of those states where literally nothing happens ever.
Potatoes?
No, I think that's Idaho.
Oh. Iowa, you've got nothing.
Iowa has corn.
Again, Iowa, you've got nothing.
You got nothing.
I guess corn makes certain types of liquor. You've got something.
Moonshine. No wonder he joined Starfleet. He was just getting drunk all the time.
Eating cornbread and drinking. Living the life.
I'm sorry, like, now I have to, like, go apologize for my dad I have to go apologize to my dad for not remembering where Captain Kirk lives or was born. Because he's, that type of Trekkie.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I was only, 2 states away. Like, Kansas, dead center of the country. Iowa, a little bit to the northeast.
Have you seen every episode of the original series?
No.
Then there you go. It's okay that you didn't know that. You haven't seen every episode.
My dad used to use episodes of the original series as, teaching moments and stuff. He's like, here's your culture for today. And I was like,
this is how you fight a lizard.
This is how you fight a giant human-sized lizard.
This is what they do in Iowa. Sorry, Iowa, if you're listening. The whole state of Iowa.
No one from Iowa's listening. Let's
I
be
know.
honest here.
No one's
We
listening.
get 13. We get an average of 13 listens.
Woo.
I mean, that was about par for when we were on the radio too. The only people who listened were a few random people on campus and all those people from France. Hey, if the French people are still listening, what's up?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bonjour. I don't know any other French other than random ballet moves, so.
And even then.
Grand jeté. That's the limit of my French, I'm sorry.
Fair. Curse you, American public education system.
I was homeschooled.
Still.
Curse American education system. Doesn't even have to be public.
It's bad, guys. It's bad. I can't wait for Starfleet to rise and then we get all of our education through Starfleet. 10 out of 10 would join Starfleet.
And I'd be part of it. Stargate. That'd be my thing.
I know you would.
I mean, I was reading about the resurgence of alien encounter type movies and shows that happened in the 90s, and Stargate wasn't on the list, and I was like, come on, people, Stargate. But those are humanoid aliens. They literally are humans.
Would the aliens be considered? And weren't I know at the very least on Star Trek, like, you wouldn't say that there was an alien encounter with, like, Vulcans because they've already been, like, integrated into the, you know.
No, this was
like,
different.
crews.
In Stargate, they discovered the Stargate in, like, the 1950s and didn't know what it did. It was buried under Earth. One in Antarctica and one in Egypt. So they find it and they don't know what it is. So for, like, 40 years, they're trying to get it to work. And they finally bring in an anthropologist who can crack the code of what the symbols on the Stargate are because it's similar to some ancient Egyptian. And they get it to work and go to this planet, encounter aliens, and the aliens start killing everyone. And, like, it's definitely an alien encounter with lots of death. And, like, the aliens sent a bomb at one point through the Stargate to Earth trying to kill everyone on Earth. And
Well, that's rude.
so it was definitely an alien encounter kind of movie. This is the original movie, and I may be mixing up part of it with the pilot from the TV show. It's hard for me to keep them straight.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Sorry, curative fans. I'm transformative. And if you don't know what those are, you need to listen to the other episodes.
It's like, yeah, we can go back. Yeah, that was like the beginning of March. So, you can go back through the episodes, which are in a handy playlist on the page. So, and titled for your convenience.
Some of the other ones from the 90s, Independence Day, good movie, definitely violent encounter. X-Files is less of an alien encounter thing. They definitely encounter aliens, but they're never really sure that they're aliens. Well, they are at some point. Well, Mulder always believes, but everyone else is skeptical. Men in Black, classic. 1997.
And that one's a mix. Like, yeah, there's a violent alien encounter, but also plenty of aliens are already integrated into the Men in Black. And apparently some of our more famous humans are in fact not humans and aliens.
I can't remember who it is.
I feel like Elvis was one.
Okay.
I feel like that one's just sort of like an easy go-to.
Especially since he wasn't living at the time that the movie was made.
Yeah. Then, of course, there's also Alien with, like, the big ol', like, the special, the,
That was 80s, wasn't it?
Probably.
Or was that 90?
I don't remember. I was just thinking about, like, that, like, representation, you know, with the big...
Oh. The
creepy, like, shiny black sort of...
This is the tentacle one that I couldn't remember. Alien.
Yeah.
I didn't have it on my list. It came out in 79.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, we went from, like, little green men to these, like, super creepy, tentacle-having, big old black, very, very obviously carnivorous type.
They're so creepy.
They are very creepy.
And they advertised it well. You never saw what the alien was until you went and saw the movie. So it didn't spoil it. And so you're used to, like, little green men or things like Vulcans. And then you go to see the movie and you're like...
and you're like, wow.
Scared shitless.
Wow, I threw up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's grotesque.
I mean, yes, obviously. I mean, like, that was definitely the point. And they did it very well.
Yeah. And
that's just sort of, you know, where aliens have gone, I guess. And then you go back a bit, like the new version of A Wrinkle in Time, which was very good, would recommend. And it's got, like, both types of aliens. It's got, like, you've got the humanoid aliens, except for, like, they can also change their form. So, like, Reese Witherspoon turns into this giant, like, flying piece of lettuce. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that's what it looks like. Giant flying piece of lettuce. But yeah, most of the time they look humanoid. And then, like, the big bad is this giant mass of giant mass of darkness that is shaped like a brain. And that was sort of very true to the very least my vision of the book. Gigantic brain, tries to take over the universe and destroy everybody's light and happiness. Which is, you know, very, very common in, like, especially, I mean, like, it's common in, like, Golden Age science fiction as well as children's stories. Because those two genres very much intersect.
And children's TV shows.
And children's TV shows. Gravity Falls. Good example. You've never seen Gravity Falls?
No, I don't know what it is.
Alright, Gravity Falls, the big bad is, spoilers, this demon, like Western style demon.
Oh, it's newer.
Yes.
Okay.
Very new. It's a very good show.
The only animated shows that I watch nowadays are meant for toddlers because I watch toddlers.
Fair enough.
And so it's things like Sophia the First and what is it? Oh, I've blanked. Anyways, I can't remember. Sorry.
Gravity Falls. Very good show. Only went for 2 seasons because the creator decided that it was only going to be 2 seasons, and they were just like, Disney was like, hey, make another season. And he was just like, no. And we all appreciate you, Alex Hirsch, for that. We really do. But anyway, the main villain of Gravity Falls is a demon from another dimension. His name is Bill. And he's a triangle. He's like the Illuminati triangle, but he has a top hat, and they plan to take over the world.
Nice.
Yep. It's a very good show. Like the second season is definitely better than the first, if only because the first season is, you know, it's set up, it's getting to know the characters, and then the second season's when shit hits the fan.
And that's why there's not another one.
Yeah. The fandom's still active. They've moved on to different things, like other sort of science fiction animated TV shows. There is actually so many science fiction or like speculative fiction animated TV shows, and we really are in like a golden age of animation. Like the next one that I'm really excited about that comes out is Infinity Train, where it's just this girl, her name's Tulip, and she's just wakes up on this train. She's going through the cars trying to find her way out.
And it never ends?
It's just a very, very long train.
Well, you said infinities.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the title of the show. The pilot is up on YouTube.
Okay.
So I might link that in the description of this video, just because it's so good. It's such a good pilot. You've got Tulip, our main protagonist, who's very snarky and cynical, and very analytical. She wants to know what's going on. Like, why is she on this train? Where's the end of the train? Why does she have this glowing number on her hand, and what does it mean? And then there's 1-1, who I affectionately refer to as the robot Pinky in the Brain.
Okay.
Because 1-1 has 2 personalities. And like it's a little ball with legs, and it can split itself into its 2 halves, and one of them is very, you know, happy and upbeat and excited, and one of them is not. So it's Pinky in the Brain, the spherical Pinky in the Brain.
Is this an online show or attached to a channel?
It's going to be on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
I do believe that it has been greenlit. But yeah, I believe the pilot is still on YouTube, so everyone can watch that. So there's Tulip 1-1 and Atticus, who is the king of the corgis. He's this little talking corgi, and he's wonderful. I love him.
Who doesn't love corgis, though?
He is a talking corgi, and he is very regal and very proper, and I love him.
Does he also have a top hat?
No, but he does have a crown.
Okay.
Because you can't be the king of the corgis without a crown.
Nice.
And yeah, the entire car, that entire train car, is the kingdom of corgis.
Nice. That sounds fun.
It's so cute.
Is it meant for kids, or is it one of the older shows like...
It's not on Adult Swim, if
Okay.
that's what you're wondering. But it's not, like, I don't think it's specifically aimed, like, it's not specifically aimed for kids. It's
Okay.
it's like Looney Tunes. Anybody can enjoy it, you know?
I feel like that's how most animation shows are, though. Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are geared. Daniel the Tiger, for instance, is meant for small children.
Yes.
Like 1-year-olds.
Yeah.
I can't say I enjoy watching shows like that.
Yes. Like, they're definitely, like, shows geared towards kids.
Yeah.
And then there are animated shows that are geared towards adults, but those are kind of gross and I don't like them.
Oh, really?
You know, like King of the Hill.
Oh, that kind.
Yeah.
I was thinking more like Bob's Burger. Have you ever watched Bob's Burger?
I've seen a little bit of it, but, like, that's geared more towards, like, mature people. But,
Yeah.
like, it can, like, you can watch it as a younger person.
Yeah. I didn't like King of the Hill. I really liked Bob's Burgers. And I liked Archer, but that's definitely an adult one.
Yeah, that one's,
very adult.
yeah. So, there's that.
Did you want to talk about the evolution? What aliens could possibly look like?
Oh, gosh. I mean, there's so many ways to go with it, too. Like, the thing is, where I'm coming from this is, you know, I took Lisa's class, like, in fall. No, spring of last year. And she had a creative final project then. And what I did for the creative final project is I made like, the opening to a comic book, a science fiction comic book, and it was all about these various aliens and how, you know, we sort of dealt with humanity's integration into the intergalactic stage, basically. Because, like, all of these other aliens had been, like, around each other for a while, is the thing. And technically speaking, the entirety of like, the universe at this point had already been, like, colonized and assimilated and brought under one crown. Except for there's, you know, infighting and stuff. So it's basically how my human main character deals with that. And all of these aliens that I built, I also, like, I definitely built them with a gear towards what their world would be like, or their lack of world in the case of some of them, because like one of my alien species is actually they don't have a home world. They are born of the void, and they like swim through the void. Perfectly adaptable to any and all like conditions, from the center of a star to the void of space. So they actually ended up being sort of space selkies. They have a selkie skin that allows them to transform to deal with those changes and everything. I just thought it would be interesting. Just aliens that were from the void. There's just...
Yeah, that is really cool.
Created via dark matter. They just sort of spawn.
That's really cool.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. I read something about it yesterday, and it made a good point, I thought. It said, universe is 14 billion years old. Earth is 4.5 billion years old. We are babies compared to the rest of the universe. So why should we expect aliens to look anything like what's developed on Earth if we are sort of in the beginning of our evolutionary chain compared to the rest of the universe? And so this article, it was an opinion piece, I think it was on Wired, but I'll have to double check, was saying that if we ever encounter aliens, we should expect them to be in a form that we don't even recognize, or it will be something that has no like physical molecular body, like cloud-like, or even just data streams, something so unlike what we would think, because they are so beyond what we are. And they
all hail the glow cloud.
And it mentioned, like, we don't think about individual microbes and bacteria and things like that very often. And so that's what we are like to aliens out there, if they exist, because we are so new and young we are like the E. coli of the galaxy is basically what it said. Or the universe.
Of the galaxy.
We make them sick.
That's hilarious. And also, but like the thing is that yeah, the Earth is like what 4.5 billion years old. But so are plenty of other planets out there. Like
That's
yeah,
true.
we live on the outer reaches of the universe, but so does the rest of the outer reaches of the universe.
And there aren't really outer reaches because it's infinite and ever expanding.
Exactly. But like as far as we can tell, we're sort of on the outskirts.
Right.
As far as we can tell. So yeah, like definitely aliens from like the center of the universe are probably going to be like beings of pure light and something and stuff, and they probably aren't even going like maybe they can talk to us, but would they want to?
Right.
Because
we're E. coli.
Because we're E. coli. Do you talk to your have you spent the time today to talk to your
E. coli.
bacteria? Have you spent the time today to talk to your bacteria?
Oh. No, but I scream at the pollen.
The eternal cry of anyone who lives in Georgia.
Yes. I seriously walked outside today and was like, why? Yellow everywhere, why?
Oh man, you should see my car back home.
Hasn't been driven in a while, covered in pollen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's so bad.
My car's like that and it gets driven every day.
Yikes.
I should probably take it through a car wash, but what's the point?
Yeah. Pollen aliens.
I was gonna say, hopefully aliens come and I don't have to worry about washing my car. Oh. Or finals.
Or finals. Yes. That is one way to get out of doing finals. Alien invasion. Yeah.
I'll take it.
I'll
No,
take it.
I don't have very much left. I guess I do. I have something left for every class. Never mind.
Never mind, I lied.
I just
lied to
feel
you.
like I'm done already. I feel like I'm over the hump, but it's all still there.
I mean, like, I personally am very done, but my work is not finished.
There you go. Yes, that's great.
My work is not finished, but I personally am done.
Oh, don't make me cry.
Yeah. I should put that on, like, a print. Like, my work is not finished, but I am done.
Yes. I'll take a t-shirt with that.
I'll do it. I'll mock something up. Put it on my Etsy account. It'll be fine.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know, man. And as we have gotten incredibly far afield, and I'm pretty sure we're both very tired, that's going to be it for the Sci-Fi Lab for this semester. Thanks for listening.